Kaspa has been one of the best performing altcoins recently. Even though a lot of altcoins have been down in recent weeks, Kaspa is sitting just shy of its all-time high. We're currently sitting just above 18 cents. The all-time high set about 3 weeks ago was just under 20 cents. So it's been doing really well, certainly in relation to the rest of the altcoin market. And that's because the fundamentals of Kaspa are so strong and the community around Kaspa is so strong. People just don't sell Kaspa. I don't mean that literally, obviously some people do, but relative to other coins, Kaspa does tend to have a lot of longer term holders. So they keep filling their bags and just forget about them. And then when everything else is down, oh, suddenly Kaspa is outperforming the rest of the market. And that's the thing with Kaspa, although the growth is sometimes slower compared to other coins, it's always been very consistent. And it's not hard to see why. I mean, who would even sell when the chart looks as good as the Kaspa chart does? I mean, earlier this year when the rest of the market was dumping, we did drop down to around about 11 cents, I think. But even then, nobody was really worried about Kaspa. We perfectly maintained the structural levels that we needed to, as I talked about in several of my videos at the time, talking about the Kaspa wave theory that we have. And ever since I started talking about it, it has been playing out perfectly. And even though the markets have been pretty turbulent over the past few weeks, the past few months even, Bitcoin is now starting to recover. It's all the way back up at 67k again. Ethereum is flying, which is great for altcoins. And of course, let's not forget we have the spot Ethereum ETFs launching in just 2 days from now, which at least in theory should be really bullish for altcoins. Although just something to bear in mind, a lot of the time when big events like this happen in crypto, people buy in anticipation of the price pumping when the thing happens. But then when the thing actually happens, the price doesn't pump because those people already bought. You've all probably heard the saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. And there's no reason that we should be ruling out the possibility of that happening in this case, and it's highly likely that it will, to be honest. But even if it does, and we do see a slight pullback in the short term, we'll still see the long-term benefits of those ETFs over the coming months and the coming years. Now, another important thing to remember, which is really bullish for Kaspa, we've been seeing all this amazing price action lately, and Kaspa still has basically no tier 1 exchange listings. It's not on Binance, Coinbase, other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. And I've made a video before talking about the possible reasons for that, which I'll link after this, by the way. And also why I think it will inevitably be listed on these exchanges. But it comes down to two main things in my opinion. And that is both the trading volume and the fact that Kaspa was a fair launch coin. And what that means is if centralized exchanges want to list Kaspa, they have to buy coins off the open market in order to have as liquidity. That's not normally an issue with most coins since they usually have tokens allocated specifically for exchange listings. Now, the other thing I just mentioned, trading volume. The thing is with centralized exchanges, the way they make all their money is through trading fees. They will list basically anything with a high enough trading volume. Hence why you end up with meme coins like Shiba and Pepe listed on tier 1 exchanges. Kaspa hasn't always had the highest trading volume when compared to other coins of a similar size. And that's because it's generally just a coin that people buy and hold. There's not always a whole lot of trading that goes on with Kaspa. But it's a bit of a catch-22 because there's not really a whole lot of places to trade Kaspa if you wanted to, whereas if it was listed on more tier 1 exchanges, then there would be more places to trade it, which would lead to higher trading volume. But I think once we start breaking these new all-time highs and the market is getting back into full swing again, investor confidence is generally higher and people start taking more risks, we should start seeing a lot higher trading volume on Kaspa with people FOMOing in late especially. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the charts again and give you an update on our wave theory that we've talked about in previous videos. Just before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite place to trade Kaspa, which is the BingX exchange, where you can get 20% off your trading fees if you sign up using my referral link in the pinned comment. Also a quick shout out to my free Telegram group, which you can join using the link in the pinned comment. Alright, here we are on the Kaspa chart. For those of you new to the channel, let me just quickly explain what this is. I like to call it the Kaspa wave theory, and basically the theory is that each cycle on Kaspa we see these two main larger waves. We have a little bit of consolidation, often a third smaller wave, and then we see our next move upwards. You can see next cycle starts, two larger waves, third smaller wave, some consolidation, and then we get our next move upwards. We look at the most recent cycle, we had our two obvious large waves. We've been kind of having some consolidation here, kind of trying to form a third wave as well. Although the market has been very volatile, so it's hard to predict it exactly. But crucially, our invalidation point for this entire trend is down here at 10 cents. And apart from a flash crash over here that didn't amount to anything, we have not dipped below that, which means our trend is still perfectly intact. Now you can see this arrow here, this is what we were expecting to happen. Obviously it didn't play out exactly like that. We did end up rejecting from this 20-cent level, which I did mention might happen. I said we might see some resistance at this 20-cent level, and we did. And the market was also pulling back quite significantly at that point as well, which just happened to coincide with that all-time high there, which took us briefly down to retest 15 cents, but we have since bounced back nicely from there. And we are now sitting just below this fairly strong resistance here at just over 18 cents. So that is the trigger point. Of course, it is significant resistance, so our natural bias should be to expect a rejection from this level until proven otherwise. I certainly wouldn't be opening any long positions until we get above that significant resistance with a daily candle close at least. Ideally, even a weekly candle close above this resistance level. Now, as I said earlier, the market is generally recovering, and assuming that continues, especially with this ETF news coming up in the next couple of days, we could quite possibly break over that 18-cent level in the next few days. But once we do break above that level, assuming that we do, we are again going to be heading up to retest this all-time high here and this 20-cent resistance. And the reason that is marked out as resistance is because that will be a significant psychological milestone, being that it is a nice whole number, so you would expect people to be taking some profits here. But if the market does continue its nice recovery, and especially if Ethereum sees a positive reaction from the ETF news, then it's highly likely that we would break that all-time high and this 20-cent resistance, which would of course send us into price discovery on Kaspa. Now, as I've said in all my previous videos now, my initial price target for that would be up here at 25 cents. I know a lot of people in the community have been calling for 40 cents. That is definitely a possibility, but the reason I've set mine at 25 cents here is again because that will be our first major psychological milestone that we encounter after 20 cents. So it may be that we just see a brief bit of resistance at 25 cents, or we may reject from there and come back down, or we could just break straight through it and head all the way up to 30 cents, 40 cents. I, like many other traders, unfortunately do not have a crystal ball. The best thing we can do is continue to react to the price action that occurs. That's all for now, folks. If you want to know more about why Kaspa isn't listed on many tier 1 exchanges, go ahead and check out this video. Or if you'd like a more detailed look at the Kaspa wave theory, go ahead and check out this one. I've been me, you've been you. Thanks for watching, and see you later.